Welcome, everybody. It is Monday night, which means it is time for some more Troubleshooters. And if you missed out last time, I will fill you in. In the meantime, so we were doing an initiative with some other folks called Roll for Ukraine, where we were raising money to help refugees and those who were embattled in the Ukraine, just the civilians trying to get out, a humanitarian effort. They reported that they raised over the goal that they had set. So congratulations to everybody who donated and who tuned in through that. Thank you so much for giving when you could. We really, really appreciate it. Hang on just one second here. We are days away, months away. Man, I'm looking wonky today. So what do we have coming up? We have virtual D&D weekend next weekend. So this coming weekend, I should say. Then in April, we've got the Huntsville Pop Culture and Comic Expo. Then in May, we've got RPG Con, which I need to get all of the forms out to the DMs that are wanting to be out there. And I know that my good friend Voodoo is like, hey, I want a DM. So I need to get the forms filled out for people so that way we can get that organized. I've still got 2 adventures to polish off for that. Got a lot going on in the background. Also, we have been working hard on the new show. And I mean, when I say hard on the new show, we've got money going out to different folks doing different things. There might be some music that we'll probably put up ahead of time, just so that way you guys can see what's going on. We're learning new programs. We're revamping stuff. My man Otter, I swear to God, his resume, whenever he is done, it's going to be padded out the fucking ass, because he has learned how to make movies and mess with vector files and work with particle concepts within movie files. What else have you done? What else have you done? Learned how to fix something with CSS? Man, every time I turn around, I'm just gonna... That was just today. Just today. What this man has gone through. And it's all because my dumbass goes, hey, what if we could do this? And he doesn't know how to say no to me. So the next thing you know, he's like, I don't know. I'll find out. Wait, let me see if I can do it. I don't know. I'll find out. But he is, yes, he is absolutely making stuff happen with regards to all of the stuff on the back end. And I am so excited for that. Coming up in May, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, all new game. Players, some that you may have seen, some that are brand new. We are excited to have it. Speaking of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, auditions. We don't really care about your video. Your audio is what really matters. We want to make sure that it's crisp and it's clear, that you can hear us well, that we can hear you well. It's 1 to 3 minute audio clip that you can submit via our Discord, or you can email us at direbearventuringco@gmail.com. March 31st is the deadline. If you want to be a part of the new show coming up, get that in, because I'm going to pick out the people. We're going to get characters done, artwork done, and then we're going to do session 0 behind the scenes, pulling everybody together. We got a lot to do and a short time to do it, especially with all the conventions that we have coming up. I am considering going to Origins and Gen Con this year, so I've never been to Origins, so this will be a new trip for me. I don't know yet. It really depends on the schedule that we have going on. I will be running the virtual D&D weekends for the foreseeable future, because that money just goes into Dire Bear things. All right. Wow. Also, please do. I am thinking it will probably be the middle or closer to the end of May. If it goes earlier than that, I will let everybody know. But that's what I'm thinking of right now. But we will keep you abreast of that if anything changes. Everybody bear with me tonight. My head is hurting just ever so slightly. Just enough to annoy me, not enough to knock me out. So anyways, let's see. Virtual D&D weekends. We talked about that. We talked about all the stuff we have coming up. Oh, Otter, do we have an update on the claws? Are they still having issues with that and the leaderboard and stuff? Okay. Otter. Okay. All right. So Otter just informed me that they're working on an update and we are we don't have it fixed yet. He is not meant to be heard. He just informed me because I'm a dumbass. Otter informed me that the claws are not working as of yet. They are working on an update to try to get those corrected. In the meantime, please still support us through bit donations. We also have the points that are accrued just from watching. You can always make a stretch, hydrate, all that other stuff. It's just the claws where you can give boons and banes through that measure. You can always, if you wish to, you can open up your pocket a little bit and donate some bits to have that stuff happen. And I think that's all the announcements that I have. Did I miss anything? Team that cannot be heard? No? Okay. As always, thank you to D&D Beyond for the use of their wonderful tools, and soon it will be thanks to Roll20 and D&D Beyond because we will be using Roll20 for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Yay! Maps! I'm a map, 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 I'm a map. Anyways, so let's do a little recap. The group snuck into Innsbruck and saw that the reinforcements, their allies, had actually made it into the city as well, from the north and from the east as well. They are moving in, or from the west as well, moving into the city. From their high vantage point, they saw some troops coming down the way. On top of that, the gigantic demon that was summoned seems to have marched away from town. But as they were trying to sneak their way through the city, avoiding the patrols, they were unfortunate in getting caught as they tried to rescue some folks. A battle ensued, and the sound of gunfire and spells being cast and damage alerted other troops that quickly moved in. More soldiers setting up a mounted machine gun as well as a machine that they had not seen, piloted by a soldier sitting in its chest. This giant mechanized unit went down the street, blasting mortar shots, nearly eliminating our allies. Somewhere in the midst of all of it, Emrys is ducked into a building alongside the street, has succumbed to damage, laying there bleeding out. But unfortunately, no one knows. When everything seemed to be hopeless, a gigantic boulder is hurled from an alleyway nearby, slamming into the big, gigantic machine. It turns to see a large Bruno, bowler hat on. Oh, no, no bowler hat. It had been lost somewhere. His vest still there, his shirt with the sleeves rolled up, carrying a telegraph pole, part of a telegraph pole in his hands, as Philip, Annie, Bruno, and Colm sneak into the combat to try to see if they can lend some sort of assistance. And with that, let's start this episode of the Troubleshooters. All right, welcome back. So we left off in the midst of combat. Actually, at the top of the round, we have Moonin, followed by the incoming reinforcements, then Emrys, then Gej, then Liss, and then the soldiers. So we will start off at the top. Moonin, when last we saw you, you were tucked in behind some rubble, trying to give yourself some sort of cover from them. If I'm not mistaken, you had half cover at a
I
+2.
crawled up
No.
on the Hulkbuster.
Oh, that's right. You're on top of it. That's right. You
I'm
were
whispering
messing around
sweet,
with it.
terrifying things into his brain.
Excellent. And on your turn, what are you going to do?
I really don't want to get hit by a big giant rock or possibly telephone pole. So I'm going to once again reach out with my inside voice to the fella inside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Stand down now or be lost.
Okay. Are you trying to intimidate? Are you using command or something?
I am trying to intimidate, and then I'm getting the hell off this thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intimidation check for me, please.
With a whole +1.
You got this.
I believe in you.
Say 17 on the die for an 18.
All right. Let's see how he holds up against your command or your intimidation. His head turns as much as it can in the metal suit, a little bit to the left and right, as he rolls. First roll of the night's a nat 20 for me.
Woo! Fair enough.
So he turns as much as he can to the left and right. You can see his helmeted head and face just kind of barely turning. But he doesn't seem to regard. He's like trying to find out where that came from. The noise of the machine operating it is just deafening. So it came through. He knows it's not like in his ear, but he looks confused, but not intimidated by your machinations there. All
I
right,
am
that
gonna
would be
try
your
and
action.
skedaddle on down.
All right.
And
Are you going into the alley on the? I should say on the. You guys were on an easterly path, so this street would be running kind of north with a curve. You came from the eastern side? Were you trying to exit the alley on the west or on the east? The way you're going. Sorry, get that backwards. You were coming from the west, heading east. So, are you exiting on the east or are you exiting on the west side?
Does either side look like it has more cover than the other?
So the road that you're on is about with the sidewalks that were there, about 30 feet across. You have building fronts that are kind of shelled out. Some of them are still standing. It looks like you could probably grab some coverage from the edge of a building if you went from where you're on the back of it. If you jumped off and went to the east, like the way you guys were. I'm sorry. You came from the east. You came from the west. You're going east. If you headed to the east, like you were meant to be going.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I'm still very invisible.
yep. You
Going
do
to.
notice there's another storefront that is really close to the alley that you guys exited out of on the west side. It looks like it may have had a large plate window in it, but that's gone, and you can see the edge of it. Make a perception check as you start to jump down.
You got it. Not as good as the first one. That's a 15.
Okay. In the midst of combat, you are too quickly trying to decide what to do next. Something catches your eye, but you jump down and head into the direction you were going.
Okay.
So you're heading into the kind of like hulled out building there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Then that would be your turn. Anything else you want to do?
That'll do.
All right. Reinforcements. Bruno is going to try to hit this thing with a telegraph pole.
Get him, Bruno.
Yeah.
We can talk about this, Bruno.
We
He
can talk about
swings. As he swings it, you watch as the rope, the giant mechanized unit brings its arm up, and the telegraph pole slams into it. And for a second, you think it's going to shatter against it. As you hear the sound of cracking wood, it comes back, and it doesn't seem to be damaged. But unfortunately, neither does the object, the construct. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Behind them, you see Philip, who looks like he is engaged with something. He is casting a spell. His eyes are white and they glow as he finishes doing something. And then you watch as he kind of taps Annie on the shoulder. All of a sudden, you see the axes that her hatchets that she has, start to glow. All right. She runs out and wings one of them towards a soldier. And let's see if she's going to hit somebody today. God. It goes right over. The soldier brings his rifle up at the last second. It hits and wraps around the weapon once and then seems to fly off in the distance. He looks at her as she whips the second one at him. This time he tries to counter that one. As she does, it slams into his chest. He coughs and sputters as he takes some damage. Okay. As soon as it's done, you watch as the two axes reappear in her hand again. And then it is one last turn, and that is Calm. Calm pops a potion, drinks it, and disappears. And that is their turn. That brings us to Emrys. You know what time it is, buddy. You've got one death and one save. You got one success and one failure. So come on, let's roll.
18.
18?
19, but yes.
19. All right. 2 successes. You're nearly stabled. All right. Gage.
I sent you a message to I'm still down everything from the last combat that I was actually actively in. Do I need to reset all that or leave it?
Yeah,
as is?
you should reset all that.
Okay.
We came into this combat full.
Okay.
Fresh.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
You did spend some. I did cast some spells.
Just tell me what level and I'll mark them.
I cast a 2nd level Cure Wounds,
Okay.
and I think that's pretty much it.
I think guiding bolt, maybe?
Yes, I did do a guiding bolt.
Okay.
At 1st level, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Well,
So
we're gonna say 1st level, so there we go.
I've got my 1st and 2nd marked. Those
All
are
right.
appropriate. I'm going to cast a 3rd level to get my spirit guardians up.
Okay.
They're going to be the 3 wolves that patrol that 15-foot area around me. And since we have some backup and there is a moment of reprieve, Gedge is going to survey the battlefield to see if anybody needs his assistance actively.
All right. Give me a perception check, please.
Don't be a dick.
Oh, I'm gonna be. It's Monday. Or are you talking to the dice or me?
The dice. And it was
Okay.
not a dick. Sorry.
How much was it?
Do perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
23 with a 19 on the die.
All right. You quickly scan. You see the 4 and then 3 allies that join the reinforcements as you're in this alleyway. You see Liz. You don't know where Moonin is. And you also don't know where Emrys is. Now, I will say that because you were in the midst of this combat, you did watch as Moonin vamped out. So he just disappeared. But you haven't seen Emrys. You don't know where Emrys is.
Okay. mildly concerning, but Emrys disappears all the time. Yeah, I don't want to meta.
Yeah, you don't know where they are. You know that in the midst of combat, everybody was ducking behind rubble and behind walls and into buildings and things. You've lost sight of them, though.
And I can cast a cantrip and an actual spell in a turn, right?
You can cast a spell as long as it is a bonus action, and then you can cast a cantrip to follow that up.
I don't think.
So you could cast like Spiritual Weapon and then Sacred Flame or something
Okay.
like that. Healing
Um,
Word and a cantrip, so forth and so on.
Gej is going to take the rest of his action to move forward, dipping between cover to try to get a better vantage on the fight.
Okay,
Then
so you're going to use your movement to
get
you're
close.
going to use your movement to try to get closer. Okay, where you're at in the alleyway, there are piles of rubble here and there. And you can see that they have like places for you to hide. The biggest thing is this giant mechanized unit that's taking up a large section of the road. You won't be able to skirt across the road,
Eh,
but you can try to like get down the road using the rubble and the broken walls and things like that
That's what
to
he's
get
gonna do.
further away. Okay, to get further away then. Are you using all of your movement, or are you going to use part of it just to find the first cover you come to? Or are you looking specifically? There are piles of rubble that'll give you half cover, and there are broken walls and things that will give you 3/4.
Um, he'll probably just try to make it to the first nearest, so he can still keep an eye on everybody that he can see, um,
Okay.
in case they
Uh,
need him.
All right, so the first one you come to is a pile of broken, like the side of this one building slid down and just piled up there. You can see a broken telegraph pole that lays across, like partially across the road, and it's broken again, with that piece of wood somewhere discarded elsewhere. Behind this, you will get a +2. Now, you do know that there are soldiers further behind you. You do not have coverage from them, but you do have it from the big ass robot that's trying to stomp everybody. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do?
That's it.
All righty then. Moving right along. All right. Liz, it is your turn.
So the only from the originals, there's no more soldiers, correct?
No, there are still two of them down the alleyway to the north, and there are two more to the south. And just behind the mechanized unit, you can see two of them that are operating a mounted machine gun. Like they quickly ran up and set it down. So there are 6 soldiers technically.
Have any of the soldiers taken damage?
The ones to the north that you guys have been fighting this whole time, they are definitely winged and winded. You can see them keeping themselves, compresses and things like that. You can see blood on one of them's head.
I think I'm going to toll the dead one of those.
Okay.
So I need a wisdom saving throw of 17.
All right. So, one of them definitely is more wounded than the other one. Which one would you like to go to?
Probably the more wounded.
All right. I'll give you that wisdom saving throw. Unfortunately, that is a 12, so he does not make that roll.
Well, my D12, I rolled 1 12 and 1 1, so it's a total of 17 because it's a +5. So 17 damage.
All right. Between you and him, no one else hears it, but this dolorous bell, this ringing sound, this He stands up for a second, terrified, looking as though he wants to run from this. Before he can even take a step, though, he clutches himself, his chest, his pale skin, or his skin pale from the loss of blood, goes even more ashen as he takes a step and falls over, slumping onto the pile. His ally reaches out and grabs his back of his jacket and pulls him down out of the way. All right. You taking him out. He is deadski. All right. Anything else on your turn?
I think that is all she's going to do. Actually, no. She'll probably also cast 1 Cure Wounds on herself.
All right. Go ahead and mark those off.
Or not
All right.
not Cure Wounds, but Healing Word. I know what I'm trying to say.
I got you. All right. With that being said, it is their turn. He is going to look up from his pile of rubble and take aim. And as he does, he is going to try to shoot. Liz, you're at half cover, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to try to take a shot at you because you killed his friend. You killed Kenny, you asshole. That's going to be a 19 to hit you.
Does not hit me.
All right. He is going to take his second shot. That's a 23.
That hits.
All right. And then we're going to do our playing with guns is fun, kids. Wow, really? A 2 and a 1 for 6 points of damage total. Haha. You watch as he reaches up, fires the first one, quickly slides the bolt back as that one rings off of the rubble that you're there. He quickly slams the bolt back into place, raises it again, and fires one more round. Downwing, this one catches you. Bah! A small puff of red enters the air as he lowers a rifle and hunkers back down again. From behind you, tucked into an alleyway, you watch as 2 of them peel around the corner, taking aim with their rifles down the way. The first one is going to take a shot at who they can see. Well, they can't see anybody but Bruno, so they're going to take a fire shot at him.
Poor Bruno.
That's a nat 1 for the first one, and a total of a 20 that hits him.
No, Deco, we talk about Bruno. We love
talk
him.
about this Bruno because
We
this
love
Bruno's
Bruno.
badass.
We stand Bruno.
Oof, that's a lot of damage to him, though. As you watch him, the first round, you hear it go, poof, and he quickly slides the bolt, and it ejects the full round. He slams the bolt back into place and fires the second round. It streaks through the air and strikes Bruno right in the side. He yells out in pain, "Oh, that's not very nice now." He turns and looks down the way. You hear the gulp over the sound of the battle of this soldier as he realizes, "Oh, I have made a terrible mistake." This other one on the other side is going to also fire at the big man. I need a 1, and then I need to up that. That is a 9, and then a 19, so that one hits him. For 14. The second one slams into him as he has the telegraph pole raised up to try to strike the mechanized unit again. The second round fires, and you watch as it pierces into his side. His big trunk, already a big man as he is, that round goes in, and he kind of like, he grips his side as this one punctures in. He's not looking good. I mean, they're small rounds compared to how big he is right now, but it's still taking a toll on him. All right, those 2. Let's see if these guys get their volley fire back. Hey, look at that, they do. All right, from downwind, you hear the sound of the gun firing up again. I need dexterity saves from everybody except for
Eh,
all right. Those of you who have half cover, you have a +2 to your dexterity bonus for this dex save. That is going to be everybody except for Emrys, who is completely covered right now. Even Moonin, because it is not a
Yep.
line of sight, it's an area effect.
Oh yeah.
I need everybody to give me dexterity saves, please. Again, those of you behind 3/4, you're going to have a +5. Those of you behind half cover, you're going to have a +2.
Which of those am I in the building?
You are at 3/4 cover, sir.
Okay. So +5, that's a lot. 23.
Okay. How did Liz? How did you do?
I don't. So I thought you said that I had full cover from the opposite end, but I don't remember from last week. So just tell me which one it is.
3/4 cover. You have 3/4 cover, from what I recall.
Okay, then mine is also a 23.
Okay. And then how did Gej do?
14 plus 4, 18.
18. Okay. You all succeed in ducking underneath the fire as this machine gun just opens up and fires across the volley of fire, just raining down bullets across this alley or this street as it sits beside the robot, just laying down suppressive fire. However, you all avoid it. You are not going to take any damage because it is an all or nothing. If you're down, you're basically hitting the dirt as the bullets ring off across you. You watch as they. I need to do this though. Let's have my players roll. Somebody roll a percentile for me, a D100.
You got it.
All right.
It's a 14.
Okay.
That's so funny
Really?
because I got a 16.
Percentile die, you roll a 14.
Yep.
Okay. As they unload this weapon, they just, I mean, you watch as one of them basically is holding the belt while the other one is just holding the trigger in his hand down on top of it as they are just rolling a volley of fire across there. However, as you watch, you hear a clink, 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 clink as the gun jams. They had a 15% chance of jamming the gun. So that's why I asked you, did you literally roll a 14?
I did.
All right. So sure
Phenomenal.
enough, the gun jams. You watch as they quickly, one of them takes and works on it. They immediately just abandon it and pull out their weapons, ready for the next round. Last creature to go is the big man. Okay. Let's see. He can't see you. He knows that you are behind a wall and you are behind rubble. And we're going to try to split the difference between the two of you. Moonin.
Mhm.
Did you mess with the armory or with the ammo unit on him?
I was planning on doing that shortly.
Okay.
I was not about to shoot an explosive ammo casing while I was
While
on
you're on his back,
it.
you hear a familiar whirring sound, and you see one of the units move up into the arm. He pulls the arm back, and you watch as the whole unit just kind of hunkers down for a second, and then you hear the terrifying thump as the mortar round is fired. I need Liss and Gej to give me dexterity saving throws, please.
No advantage or no
You
added.
get your bonuses for being behind rubble. So you get a +2 and you get a +5.
Mine is a 15, which I do not think is enough.
How'd you do, Gej?
17 plus 4, 21.
Okay. You are correct. That is not going to be enough for that. However, Gage, you are going to take half damage from this.
It's all the time in the trenches.
You hear
All
that
right.
noise and you're just like, oh, gotta go.
You hear that boom, and as it does, it sends the round out, volleying over your heads. You hear the whistle from the small propeller as it zeroes down. And it does not detonate, though, on impact. Instead, just before detonation, it times and explodes in the air, covering the area with a large blast, like a fireball. As you do, you almost dodge out of the way. As you barely make it across the pile, hunkering down, you're going to take 12 points of fire damage. Liz, unfortunately, you catch the biggest part of the blast. That is 25 points of fire damage. And then he locks his arm back in place, and you hear that boom as he ejects the spent shell and reloads another one in his arm. All right, that is all of the soldats' turn. We're back up to the top. Moonin.
Well, we can't be having that. No, no.
No.
We are going to sharpshooter, violent shot at the ammo canister on its person.
Okay.
I'm going to expend 1 grit point for this.
All right.
It adds 2 to my misfire score, but if it hits, I can add an additional damage die.
Okay. So behind the wall, you quickly lay your gun against the edge of it, taking careful aim. All right. Roll to fire.
That was cocked. It landed like straight up with one of the points. Like, the hell's that supposed to be?
Just pick a number. What do you think's gonna hit? Just pick a number.
Ah, yes, Victor. We can thank our lovely friend Nereus for the fantastic character art we have on our overlay here. They are way too good at what they do, and we love them.
Absolutely.
So, hold on. I have to do math. Sharpshooter takes 5 away.
I just feel like with even the odds, whenever you used it as your when you use it as your packed weapon, it like has all the different attachments. So it's got like a ghostly butt plate, like a butt extension that appears on there.
Like folds out.
You've got it like folds out across the top of the 1911, and just like you're just aiming down the sights on it.
So it's a 17 on the die, plus 12 minus 5.
Okay, so plus 7.
Yeah,
So that's going to be 24.
24.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I can't add anything else to that.
Okay. You squeeze the trigger, carefully taking aim. The sound of there's like a moment where everything on the battlefield gets really quiet, except for the retort from even the odds. As the muzzle flare blasts out, the round sends its way through the air, screaming as it hits, and you hear it over everything. That tink, as you know your round hit the ammo dump. I would like for you, so you're using even the odds?
So I have to roll a d8 to see if it's elemental damage, and
Please
I get
do.
to roll 3d8 for regular damage on top of that.
Okay. Did it do magical damage?
Rolling that d4 right now.
All right. Roll to see if you get the magical damage.
Ooh.
Or the elemental damage.
That's a 1. It is a 1!
Yes!
My whole brain was like, oh, it needs to be a 4, and I clicked on it, and it was like, I'm wrong! So,
Okay.
d8?
Victor 7 TV. If you want, I have published even the odds on D&D Beyond. If you go under homebrew items and look up even the odds, that'll be listed there. It's a 1911 that's modified like Chaos Bolt. All right, so what kind of damage was it?
This is going to do fire.
Nice. Okay.
So,
all right.
Just to start things off, fire damage, it takes 5 fire, and then 3d8.
Okay.
Not great. One was an 8, and the other 2 were 1s. So 10 bullet damage plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
So 16 plus 10 for sharpshooter, so 26 bullet damage total.
And you said how much fire damage?
5.
Or like 5. So a total of 21?
Total of 31 altogether.
31. Thank you.
26 bullet, 5 fire.
You've never been more proud of a shot that you've taken in your life, especially given the dire circumstances. As the bullet erupts, you watch as it streaks like a red shot, like a tracer round almost, through the air and hits one of the cylinders. You cheer, but for a second, as you hear boom, 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 I need everybody, except for Emrys, because you automatically fail. I need everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw. As suddenly the street, north, south, all down the alleyways, Bruno is engulfed in it, as are your reinforcements. As this mechanized infantry unit just stops for a second, and then there is a mushroom cloud of a fireball that explodes, filling the entire area. Fire is engulfing everything. The only reason, Emrys, that you're safe, you can feel the heat washing over you as it rolls through the building, rattling everything. Your teeth are jarred in your head. Your head is screaming. This is going to be a lot of damage. I just want you to recognize this is going to be a lot of damage. He had 5 rounds left in his ammo unit, and you blew up all of them. Each one does a fireball's worth of damage.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Season 4 has been fun, y'all.
No shit.
All right.
And
That ain't none of my
Emrys
business, though.
stabilizes after all of this and stands up and just like, why is
how did
everyone
season end?
dead?
How did season 4 end? With a bang.
TPK. TPK.
And then
All
Emrys. Just like, what
Emrys
happened?
goes,
Emrys just like,
Hands
I'm
up.
joining the bad guys now.
why am I covered in
I get it.
dust? Where is everybody? Oh, those were your friends. Oh.
You broke my
Yeah.
mate.
All right.
I'm
Liz
retiring.
got-
That's what Everest would do. Retirement.
I'm
It's
gonna
like,
go
I
dip.
have no idea what the fuck's going on, but I'm done.
Okay. Liz, how did you do?
Liz got a
You still have your +5.
yeah. I think Liz got a 19 or a 20.
Okay.
But even with half
Mwah.
damage, she's down.
Okay. How much HP did you have left? What's your maximum HP?
83.
Okay, great. So it's not enough to kill you outright, but you are down. Half of what you would have taken is 26. So you're down. Gage?
12.
52 points of fire damage. You still up?
Yep.
Okay.
Not feeling great, but I'm up.
All right.
What
I
did
got
you say
15.
it was halved?
26.
Duh.
How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm positive I made the save.
What did you
but
roll?
I'm
Moody?
literally at 0. I rolled a
Okay.
25 before cover.
You made the save, but yes, 26 points of damage as fire, brick, shrapnel pieces just fly into your body. You're like a moment of triumph and then instant fucking terror as this room, everything around the way, those are all gone now. Bruno has been blasted back into the wall. He looks like he's sitting down in a chair as his arms are in upper levels of buildings and his body is just racked back in there. He's still large, so whoever had concentration on him, you're thinking it's probably either Philip or Colm gave him a potion. But you can see that he's still large, but he has got small pieces of metal that are flaked into him, and he doesn't seem to be moving. He's just like sitting there with his eyes closed. Behind him, you can see Annie is like on top of Philip, and like she has small pieces of debris and stuff in her back. She kind of rolls off of him, and Philip, you can see he's taken a little bit of the hit, but he seems to be okay. You don't know where Colm is. Colm is invisible.
Well, if he got hit real hard, he'd probably pop back up.
Well, you don't
Maybe.
know, but what I can tell you is that if you want to find an effective way to end a combat, blow something up big time.
It's worked for me twice now, except this time it hurt us too.
I mean, mistakes.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen. I'm just curious. I'm curious about something. Let me.
How many
fix
dice
this
of
real quick.
damage did we just drop?
It was
on
20d6. 20d6. I'm just curious if I rolled. You would be fucking dead.
For
Because
what?
I said he had 5 of them, right? And I said each one does a fireball's worth of damage. A fireball is 8d6. Technically, it should have been 40, but it was still contained within his system, which kind of helped dissipate that a little bit, which is why it was only 20. If I would have rolled for the full 40 because it was all exposed, that would have been 141 points of damage.
Whew.
I'm good. I'm good, fam.
You know,
thanks. I appreciate
we
that.
might be starting Wild Beyond the Witchlight a little early, folks. Seems
Like,
we have some free time coming up.
141 points of damage. It's just everybody going, well, I guess I'm going to get out of here.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out.
Guess it's time to work on my character for the next game.
Emrys, I need another death saving throw, please. You've got 2 successes and a failure.
Come on.
8.
No, you're killing me too.
2 failures.
Stress.
2 successes. All right, Moonin,
deciding round.
that was your turn. You watch as Annie is moving slowly. Philip is moving slowly as well. Colm comes out of the invisibility, and you see him. He's got bottles of this cordial looking stuff, and he's giving them out. He's looking around and checking on people. He taps Bruno on the face, who immediately like comes up, his hands like,
He's not dead.
What was that? What happened there? Was that you? Oh, that was bloody brilliant. My head's ringing. Does anybody else hear the sound of that bell? It's really loud right now.
Baby.
What? I can't hear you. Oh, man.
Blood slowly coming from everyone's ears.
Just the big man is standing up. He's got the telegraph pole now. He's using it as a crutch as he kind of stands up. He's like, oh, I think I got some in my lungs.
Baby.
Oh, man. I don't feel well.
Since Colm is checking on them, I would like for Gej to actively look for his party. I know Liz is down.
Okay.
I knew where she was. So he's going to
Um,
go check on her, and then he's going to try to find the other 2.
Okay. You can find Liz, no problem. She's not covered by rubble or anything else like that.
I'm gonna
And
slap some
but
healing into her.
she is.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pop that level 4. Wow. Stupid me can't. Math. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, I'm stressed.
Deca, what do you mean deciding the entire fate of a campaign? What are you talking about? All right, so Gez, you are
20.
administering healing.
26 HP is what you get. Let's.
As much as you lost.
Cool. And I know I didn't have to, but I did roll my first death save, and it was a nat 20. I just want to point that out to everybody.
Nope. All right.
And can he see Moonin?
Moonin is invisible, so no.
Right.
Actually, no.
I shot
You're not
my
invisible
gun.
anymore because you shot.
I'm
you're
just in
hiding.
a building. Yeah.
He's right. You can't see him, but right now he's sitting down on the back side of the wall that's remaining, like slumped down against it, going, "That was cool, and it hurt, and that was cool, and it hurt."
Whoever
and that was
finds
cool."
Moonin, he's got a huge grin on his face, and he is
and blood in
fucking
his ear,
dying.
blood in his ears, but a grin on his
Just
face.
like
He's
slumped
laying there
over.
unconscious. He's laying there unconscious with a grin on his face.
Yep. Absolutely.
So saying Moonin is still breathing. He will tend to him in a minute because he's not, dying. But
Right.
that was a big explosion. Still gonna look for our rogue boy.
I'm
Liz,
definitely
once
dying.
she gets up, she's going to help Gez try and find Emerus, because if she went down, the little squishmallow definitely went down.
Aw. I need perception checks then.
16, 12 plus 4.
Mine is 18, 9 plus 9.
You don't see Gej on the outside, like on the north side of the street, anywhere laying out or anything. And you know they're not invisible, but you don't seem to see them in that side. So
Gotcha.
you can look again on your next turn, but you don't see them right now. This is where Liz, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Use your action to kind of like look around actively.
Yes, that's what she did. Is she got an 18 to try and see if she could find Emerus.
All right, then that brings us back to the top. Moonin.
For a death save.
Oh shit! Seriously? Well, that's
two failures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. The way that was narrated, I thought you were good, my guy.
I forgot he was at 0.
Yeah,
he's just laying there.
While I didn't get knocked under my hit points, I got taken exactly to 0.
It is 0. So he's still unconscious and would be considered bleeding out. So
yep. But don't worry. If I die,
I'm worried.
it will be with a smile on my face.
No, we're not dying.
Well, we're gonna find out real quick. The reinforcements are tending to themselves, and that brings us to Emrys.
Is this an instance where I bring out my Adira dice?
Hold on 1 second.
This might just be an Adira dice moment.
Yeah?
Moonin.
Yes.
Since you were on the same side that they were in, Colm does find you, and he administers a potion to you. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a whole lot in the way of potions. $14 points back to you.
I'm just gonna take a second here,
Mhm.
and I want to roll my next deck.
Okay, go for it.
I want to know.
Oh!
That was a 6.
Combe was looking around for people, so he rolled a 24 on his perception check. He was on the same side of the street that you were in, so legit he found you, and that's what he was doing, was handing out potions. He was reaching into his bag and handing them out. So you avoided that one. Now let's see if your ally can avoid theirs. Emrys, you're at how many? 2 and 1? 2 and 2?
2 and 2.
All right.
It's literally the deciding factor of fates right now.
This will be the last roll for you, one way or the other.
Not if we can find him in under a minute. No!
I can't tell.
I'm
Emrys.
so stressed.
Mm-hmm.
The faint sounds of combat that were ringing in your unconscious mind, that kind of dreamlike state of something that's going on kind of in the distant background. As you lay there, a sense of peace comes over you. You look up for a moment and you see, dressed in fine tails with a bow tie, like he's going out that evening, a vest on, Richard, for lack of naming what he really is like kneeling down with his elbows on his knees next to you. Well then, is that the end of it then? Is that all? Just had enough, had you? It's a damn shame, really. You had so much to discover about yourself. Well, you were such an ally to me. I couldn't leave you in a moment like this. He stands up and brushes his pants out, straightening himself up. You see him slipping on a pair of gloves, and he reaches out his hand towards you. Come, love, let's go. Come on. We don't want to be late. I mean, it's fashionable to be late, but not that late. And then he holds out his hand. Come on.
Can't we give them a moment? A minute?
Oh, love, you've given them a lifetime.
Lifetime in the span of months.
A lifetime nonetheless.
A minute. That's all I ask.
I'm sorry. As it would see, the sand has finished running. The last grain has trickled its way through the bottleneck. I would love to give them a minute, but then you would ask for an hour. And then a day. Like I said, you gave them a lifetime.
Since
Come now.
working with me, have I lied to you?
You really can't reason your way out of this one. You understand. This was beyond my control and yours.
That's true.
You look so sad lying there. Come now, love. Take my hand.
Can't give a dying man one more thing. Within a
Oh.
minute.
I'm going to give you a world, a universe. All sorts of things unseen, but that old place, that drab place, full of death and decay, and that's beneath you now. Look at how marvelous you are. Come. It's time. And this time he doesn't ask for your hand. You feel your hand just like reaching up almost involuntarily. As he takes yours, you see yourself decked out, your gloves on your hand. He stands you up. How are you dressed? Immaculately dressed. What are you wearing?
the shades are all in this sort of like deep blues and greens, as if just like the ocean in the middle of the night. The way the moon flecks is what is expressed within like the silver of the buttons or of any jewelry that is on me. I've never been one to wear the elegant of clothing, so nothing really comes to mind except maybe what Richard himself is wearing, a sort of
So
almost
like,
copy or a clone of that.
yeah, so like a matching suit with tails, but in like a deep, rich blue.
Mm-hmm.
My, don't you cut a striking figure. But of course, I knew that all along. Oh, before we go, I would say this won't hurt. It doesn't really, but your mind is still reeling with that, so you won't be needing this anymore. And you watch as he puts a hand, not forcefully, not hard, but he puts it gently against your chest, and you feel this warmth that starts to sear. You tell yourself it's all in my head, but it burns, and as you do, you watch as he pulls a small heart made of fire. You won't be needing this anymore, love. And he kind of drops it for a moment. Well then. And he puts his arm up, shall we? And again, you put your hand on his arm as he starts to guide you off towards this grand ballroom that you can see ahead of you. Like it's surrounded in kind of these cloud fog area, but you can see the ballroom itself. And there are all manner of people that you can see crowding around. Some of the faces look familiar, but you're not sure who they are. But what you do know, without a doubt, without any question in your mind, is that you belong there like you've belonged no place ever in your short life. A sense of understanding and relaxation and ease comes over you. And everything sort of fades. Back in the prime material plane, Gej. A coughing and sputtering sound from your ally, Moonin. You can see Colm yelling, I found Moonin. He's over here. He seems to be all right for the most part. Come on, little boy.
Have you seen Emrys? Do you know where he's
No,
at?
haven't seen Imrys ever since we came here into combat. We saw that big robot thing. We haven't seen Imrys.
Keeping up the look.
All right. Perception check, please.
Nice to be. Anyone? 17 plus 4.
You look around, you can see pieces of the robot or the mechanized unit have been blasted over every, like, throughout the entire area. Right next to where it was standing, you see a building. A lot of it has been blown out by the creature itself being blown up. A piece of metal, which would have been one of the chest pieces, has been flung into that area. Avoiding most of the explosion and the debris that fell down, you search through and you can see something in there. You immediately run over and start scrambling through all of the things. I'm going to go ahead and pull us out of combat rounds or out of initiative rounds since Moon and you're up and we don't need you to have death saves made. As you pull aside, give me a strength check, a strength or athletics check.
Can Liz help? Because Liz was trying to also find Emerus.
Are
So
you
can she give
trained
an
in
advantage?
athletics? Are you skilled in athletics?
16.
No.
Okay. But you're working together. You can roll separately. Or you can roll as well.
I got a 17.
Okay. You try to pull the metal piece off and you move it a little bit so where you can see, and you see the pale body and face of Emrys. You can only see like from their chest up to their head. They look at peace, almost as though he's just napping there. He just looks at peace. You quickly scramble to get the rest of the rubble off. You hear the sound of heavy footfalls behind you. You watch as a massive hand looks in and starts moving stuff out of the way. Step aside. I think I can help here. And he starts to move some of the rubble off of Emers's body.
Gej is in like panic. He's just sitting there muttering, "No, no, 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 not you two," to himself.
Liz
As
is
he's
also
still
in panic
desperately
mode.
trying. And when Bruno comes up, he's like, "Okay, Bruno's bigger than me. I don't have the strength I used to." Gej is literally just trying to put a hand on Emrys, and
Okay.
at first he's going to try healing because I don't. Can he tell that he's not breathing?
You can give me a medicine check if you want to.
Okay, so his first line of action, regardless, is going to be trying healing, and when that doesn't
So
work,
you slap a hand. What spell are you casting?
cure wounds.
You put your hand on there and siphon the magic through you, and nothing seems to happen.
So
Liz,
then
Hold on.
his
Yes.
immediate next action would be to cast Revivify
All right, hold on to that
on
just 1
Emrys.
second. Okay, hold on to that 1 second. Liz, what were you going to say?
Liz would have known that Emrys was dead. She rolled a 21 on her medicine check.
Then yeah, you recognize that he's dead, but like Gej is in a state where it's just like something has to work.
And she is also sort of in that state, and she's like scrounging in her bag for her mother's wedding ring because it's the only diamond that's big enough for what she wants to cast.
Okay, what do you want to cast?
She wants to cast Raise Dead.
Okay. All right. Gej, what are you going to cast?
Revivify.
All right. So, Revivify does have a component to it that is a valued item. So, normally your spell focus, you can cast your spells through as long as they don't have a monetary value. And the monetary value for Revivify is diamonds worth 300 gold pieces.
I don't know if I have anything.
All right, so you're casting Raise Dead. Okay, a 5th level. So you have a diamond worth at least 500 gold pieces, or you believe you do?
I believe I do.
Okay. What I want you to do is roll a percentage check for me, please. Roll percentile die.
I have an 85.
Okay. You are scrambling to look through there, but you're still scrambling to look for it. You can't find it right now in this. Moonin, you're on your feet. What are you doing? Well, at least you're mostly on your feet.
I am just sitting there. I am shell shocked right now. That was a lot.
As you are sitting there, I need you to make a perception check. As you are still kind of ringing, I'd like for you to make it with disadvantage, please.
Okay. Disadvantage is a 14.
Okay. You hear the sound of boots. Heavy boots. As well as you hear a voice behind you going, "We don't have time for this. We have to go. There are more coming. That explosion You know they've seen it. And Philip is standing there. His coat is tatters. He's got a small like scar, like a wound on his head, but he seems to have like brushed it out, so the blood is just welling there, but it doesn't seem to be running. Annie is picking pieces of debris. She's taking her jacket off, and she's still picking pieces of debris. You know, he's right, loves. If we don't get moving now. I always do her wrong accent.
Don't they?
You're right, love. If we don't get moving now, I can't do it right now. My brain is like stuck in the other thing. They're gonna catch us and put every one of us in chains and find a way to torture everything out of us. Is that what you want? Get your friend and let's get the fuck out of here before they get here. Come along.
I will use an action to materialize a staff
Mm-hmm.
to haul my ass up off the ground and start hobbling towards the group.
You watch as next to you guys, Bruno, his massive hands in the enlarged form start to move back down, and you see he moves back to his normal massive size. He reaches, he kind of like puts a big hand on your shoulder, Gej, and another one on you, Liz, and he kind of says, I'll carry him if you clear the way. And with that, he reaches in and gently, ever so gently, scoops Emrys up in his hands and like holds him like this. And he says, we have to go. They're going to be here soon. And then they're going to not like us very much. We blew up one of them toys. And you watch as he turns and he starts making his way out there. You can see there's blood splashed all along the side of his vest and shirt where he was wounded earlier. But he doesn't seem to be slowing. He seems to be moving, at a pretty good pace. Holm is standing just off to the side of the road in the alleyway where they came from, and he is glancing at where Moonin was at before. Not a problem. We're glad that you came along, Victor. We hope that you come around again, and I'll be talking to you about the voice acting thing. I don't know if you do that. I do a fair few of them. Anyways, Combe looks up for a moment like he's in a stupor. As Bruno runs by, he just kind of nods at him, and Combe snaps out of it. He shakes his head, and he takes off running right behind him. As he's moving, he starts to pull this. He opens up his accordion bag of holding and starts to pull out this robe or this cloak or something. And as he's running, he kind of whips it around his shoulders. And he doesn't like disappear. As he pulls the hood up, though, it kind of billows out and kind of blocks the view as you guys are moving down the way. A few moments pass, and you guys find yourselves standing in front of one of probably the few buildings in this area that is still standing. It's kind of a mustard yellow color as the door is pushed open and everybody is let in. Philip and Annie and leading in the way, Bruno behind them, ducking his head as he moves to the door. He carefully takes Emerson's body and lays it out on a table, like clearing it off, and he just lays him gently there on the table. Bruno actually kind of looks at him and furrows his big brow, his bald head looking down, and you can see like dust and stuff like still on his head, caked and running down as he looks down at Emerson. He just kind of takes his hand for a second, and he like moves Emerson's hair for a second, and he's like, he just kind of gently moves it, and he says, you'll be okay soon, I know. Combe has all sorts of things in his bag. You'll be right as rain in a moment, I promise. Just hold on, okay? And you can see him just like, right, and just putting his hands gently on Emrys. The big man stands for a moment, and he's like, I'm gonna go find some water and a kettle. I'll put the kettle on. And he sort of turns and just makes his way into the kitchen quietly.
Liz is like, as she's walking, she's made sure that Moonan's following, but
Mm-hmm.
other than that, she is like sole focused, like looking into her bag. And her mother's ring is on like a gold chain. Like it's in a it's in somewhat of a like pouch of, but it's like a total emergency. She rarely ever like sees it, but like she's very much like looking for
Mm-hmm.
this ring, and that is like
Okay.
her sole focus.
All right. Give me percentage dice again.
While she's doing that, splitting hairs
78.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
78.
78. Okay. What were you gonna split hairs on?
You said
I'm
something
here for it.
of value. Does it have to be a diamond, or can it be something of value to the person?
It's literally the spell consumes the things.
I understand that.
That's a good question.
Does it have to be of actual value, or can it just be something that is greatly treasured by the person, like a sacrifice for a sacrifice?
This is a very solid question.
What were you thinking of sacrificing?
Okay, so it hasn't really come up, but ever since I made Gesh, he reads poetry as a way to calm himself, and he has a book of poetry that he took from Dan, who he loved and lost in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dan's book of poetry, and it has even notes and stuff written from Dan in it. Like I said, anytime he gets stressed out, he reads this. He reads them to soothe himself as much as washing his hands or tending his spear does.
This is going to be a question that you'll have to ask of Ares.
Mars,
Mars.
same difference, but
Same
different.
god, different name.
Mars is actually a little bit more polite than Ares, so
That's true. Ares is just a dickhead. Why do we go to war? Why wouldn't we?
Why
at
not?
least Mars also tends harvests and stuff. It's fine.
All right.
So like him sitting there looking over Emrys, literally just trying to figure something out in his head, to himself. What good is it to be a cleric if I can't do anything about the same things we were in before? What can I do? How can I stop this from happening? Damn it, Mars, you gave this to me. What the fuck do you want from me? Me some sort of direction, please.
The voice speaks to you. They go hand in hand. The domain that I have and that of Thanos. Thanatos. Thanos is a different guy. That of Thanatos. They are simpatical. They are of the same, one leading to another. What you're asking me to do is to deny my brother that which he has earned. There was war, and with that comes death. Are you saying that this one life deserves to be reverted and deny my brother his boon?
Me, yeah.
You don't see the presence, like you don't see them, but you sense where they are. As they're moving around, you feel a heavy hand resting on your shoulder, like the presence of it. I say that as your dog looks at. It's like, oh, the presence is in the room. You feel a heavy hand like push down. Maybe, yeah.
No, he said to me, not
To
to
you,
me. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. It was
That's okay.
the accent.
To you, this one, then I will have many more told for that. Do you understand? The debt that will be paid will be heavy. Is that something that you feel you can live with?
I'm rest deserved better than this. I'll take the burden.
You realize the burden weighs heavy because the souls of the innocent are the heaviest ones to carry. Why does he deserve to live, and what offer do you make me?
People are all the family that I've got left. Everyone that I care about that still exists are in this room. All the rest of them are just ghosts that haunt me. I don't need another voice in my head telling me how I failed them. I don't want another voice telling me how I couldn't do enough. You gave me this power to use.
And you have been an excellent servant for my cause.
I'll pay the price in blood. I'll give you more war. I will fight till the day I die. But help me bring him back.
He manifests in front of you. You don't know what you expected to see, but you're not sure that this was it. You're not sure that this olive-skinned man with short cropped hair, a tightly cropped beard. His eyes are a mix of yellow and green. Bowling ball, okay, fuck you, man. His eyes are this mix of yellowy green. He looks at you. There are no battle scars on him. He is dressed in a uniform that you're not familiar with. An ornamental saber hanging at his side, but even though it looks ornamental, you're sure that it could cut the very fiber of the earth if he had to. I will do what I can. You will pay the toll. You will not fight till your death. You will fight until the world itself ends. And he reaches out a hand and he touches you on the forehead. It burns for a second, and as you look away, you can add a new character trait to Gesh. There is a small tattoo over his brow, like right over this eyebrow.
Oh.
And it translates from Sumerian, ancient Sumerian. That's what it's written in. What it says in there is
Yeah.
come off for this one. Immortalis an exceedium, basically an immortal exceeding, an exceeding immortal, or exceeding mortality.
I get to watch everyone I love die.
So do we just see Gej and just like across their forehead?
Yep. Emrys, nothing changes with Emrys. Liz,
Yes.
a voice speaks to your mind. Remind me what pantheon you follow and who you follow.
She follows Hell, and so the
That's
Norse
right.
pantheon.
A warrior woman's voice. Strong as the blade she wields. A request has been made across the archways. A sacrifice, a toll, and a debt. What debt will you pay? What toll will you offer?
Liz then realize as she's realizing that she can't find her ring, right? She just like pauses and starts sobbing, and she just her like faith is now being into question. You promised me that when I followed you and you allowed me to heal and make sure that you told me that you wouldn't allow anybody else to die on the battlefield. This is not what you promised me. And like instead of being like colloquial or like answering Hell's question, she just goes into like a rambling of like anxious, why did you lie to me? Why can't I not just bring him back? Like why can't I just do this?
There is a moment where you wonder if you were heard. Like there is no response immediately. The world around you seems to slow. Dressed in robes of earthen color with filigree done in bronze at the edges of them, a fur from a giant wolf wrapped around her shoulders. Her arms are lean, the gown going all the way to the edge, that same brass work around the edges. Her head, one side, a beautiful visage of a maid, the other side, the horrific visage of a skull. Her head is wrapped in a crown of tree branches, with one branch seeming to come way off of the side. You knew who she is without even looking at her. The twisted, gnarled branch that she holds in her hand, the staff that she carries, lit by some ghoulish light as she looks at you. She towers over you and stands forward and says, "Do not question me. I will strip you to the bone and claim you. You are mine."
Liz just looks up at her, just like both fury and just tears, and is just like, "You're right. I am yours. And the fact that I cannot save this person, that you told me that I was going to be able to save anyone on the battlefield, I'd rather you strip me."
She tilts her head to the side and says, "So be it. She takes the staff and just pounds it into the dirt one time. There's a flash of that ghoulish light that just sort of washes over everything for a second. And she steps back. This was your choice. And she fades out of view. Everybody that is awake in a round, thank you for coming by. We hope you enjoyed it.
Emotional damage.
Just watches as you just kind of like stutter for a second. You know how you get like a chill down your back and you just kind of involuntarily like, ugh. That's what happens. And like Colm looks at you and says, are you all right?
She is unsure. I assume she now can like see, and she's no longer.
Yep.
So she's looking at Emrys, and she's trying to see if Emrys is alive. And if he's not alive, then she's not okay.
Emrys, I'm gonna send you a message. I gotta find you in all of these people. There you are.
I was about to even ping.
If they're all freaking out to no avail, I might as well hop on the party bus and reach out to mine. But you guys do what you're doing first.
First, let me hop out the mud.
The bass so loud it doesn't even help.
I don't got no god, but I got a weird tentacly guy that's in my brain.
Octopus in the folds of your brain. Just
Yeah.
He makes the wrinkles for you.
let me just fold the laundry. I'm so
Brain
sorry,
massage
Q.
to a whole new level.
As long as they're not smoothing it out, I think he's fine.
I mean, I don't got a whole lot of intelligence to start, let me just say. There's only so much smoothing I could handle.
You need all the wrinkles you have.
Tentacly god in my brain. Calamari in the medulla oblongata.
Almighty spaghetti monster.
Touch me with your noodly appendage.
Ramen.
Ramen.
Amen. That sounds like raw men, and that just doesn't sound appealing.
I mean, until you cook them, are they all raw?
That
Did
is
Lift
a fair
feel
counterpoint.
any different?
Sashimis.
Does sashimi and sushi?
You forgot the S's. Sashimi.
Sashimi.
I'm gonna drive over to your house.
We're losing
Kick
everybody.
in your door and lick your face. All right.
And lick your face.
Do it. Do it. You won't.
Do it, you coward.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So now that I have the answer to that, we're going to do this out loud.
Oh shit.
The dance is beautiful. The food is plentiful. You want for nothing. You've never felt this sense of belonging as strongly as you do in this moment. The voice that cries out for you is discordant and sharp. It's in contrast to everything else. It yells for you loudly. It doesn't beg you and beckon you and call you quietly. It's demanding.
Taking a quick glance around, is it noticeable that others are hearing it as well?
They don't seem to.
Or
They seem to be looking to you, and again, it's that everybody is just welcoming you. They're making you feel accepted and loved and enveloped and whole. Ask an
and then
atheist what heaven looks like.
um
Taco
I'll
Bell.
Fucking yes! Yes, Taco Bell! Fourth meal forever. Sorry. Fuck.
Sorry.
Serious moment.
It's a
for me.
moment.
All right,
It's
go
a
ahead.
moment.
I'll call out to it. It's just like hello?
It doesn't respond. It just Emrys! Come!
Sorry.
It's all right.
I'll follow. No, I'll follow. I'll try and follow.
It calls you again loudly.
I'll start pushing around through people, trying to find it.
Okay. It seems to come from like nowhere, but everywhere at the same time.
Oh God. Sorry. Think I haven't used this name in a while, so give me 1 second to make
Yeah.
sure I'm
Yep.
putting the right one.
You need to find it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be key. Does Liz feel any different? I don't know. A little bit. A little different. The wisest fighter ever owned. Sorry. It calls out, you look around the room and you're not really sure where to go. You're trying to pull out, and it's not like anybody's preventing you from going anywhere, but you're in the middle of this ballroom and you're not really sure. And then the voice isn't as insistent and loud. Instead, it quietly says, Avira. As you do, the walls sort of shift. A man stands there. His face is one of those things where you're not really, it looks familiar but unfamiliar all at the same time. Come, child. You've spent enough time. There are those that wish to see you. Avira, come. And he holds his hand out to you.
Kind of nervous and like a little unsure, but I'll take his hand.
All right.
Tell him like
As he pulls you in, you look at it now and you realize the face isn't a man, it's not a woman, it's this androgynous thing, and it seems to shift and change. As they move you and they pull you in, you watch as they tip your chin up to look as they look down at you. They take your chin in their hand and lean forth and they say, Avira, wake. And as they say it, their breath washes over you and it's smells of blackberries and wonderful sweet like honey and things like that. You cough and sputter and you feel a pull and like your body is weighted down by gallons upon gallons upon gallons of water. You're slow to move, your eyes open. Gej, Liss, Moonin. It's imperceptible almost. And then you look and you see the eyes fluttering behind closed eyelids. You don't know what is being said, but you can see the mouth on Emrys starts to move. and then their eyes open. Emrys, you look around for a moment and you're not sure where you are. Your eyes are heavy. It's hard to open them. As you do, a dull light fades into view and the room sharpens. And you realize that you're lying on a table. And you see Liz, and you see Moonin, and you see Gej. Gej has, you don't know how long you've been gone, but you can see that Gej has a tattoo, and some of the light that Liz carried with her seems to be dimmed. Something seems to be different in the room.
When Liz sees that Emrys is awake, she is just like, "You fucking French bastard. I can't believe what you just put everybody through. I'm so glad you're back. But
I think I'll take the blame for that, Liz. I
She
think
just like lightly socks Moonin's arm and she's like, "You're right, you are the one to blame for that."
I can absolutely shoulder the blame for that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
glad
like
you're okay.
legit. As soon as your eyes start opening and Liz starts cussing at you,
You are
Um,
immediately smothered by Gej.
very very gently, like Gej wraps his arms around you, and there's just this heaving sob as he buries his face in your chest. And I'm gonna cast a bunch of cure wounds on you. Uh, it's fucking relief, my guy.
And
It's the
Liz
hug
just
of
like
healing.
shoves a potion into your hand and is all like, "Fucking drink this and don't say anything else for at least a minute." And then she like walks out the door because she's just like so relieved and so angry at the same time.
The main thing I'm focusing on with Gej is like holding on to me, his head in his in my chest. It's just like hands instantly like on his head. He's holding it. I'm holding him as close as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Like grip into whatever clothing I can get my hands on. But I'd let Gej cry for a little bit before tilting his head up a little bit, gently like taking my thumb and going over the
Mm-hmm.
mark that's on his
Yeah.
forehead. I was just like, was I out that long for you to go get a tattoo?
What?
Your forehead.
Oh, no. It just got there. Sorry, I've gone and made your shirt all wet. And he's gonna awkwardly back off.
For the first time, and you don't know how long, Emrys, there's also a missing part. That something, you have a hollowness in your chest.
Does it affect me in any way? Like emotionally or from what it feels?
Yeah. I mean, there's a yearning, a missing there. Not enough to cripple you, but like it's going to take a while to recover from that.
Okay. Something to worry about later. I have enough people mad at me without worrying that something else is bad.
Just gonna kind of hobble over. I'm really glad you're okay.
Tell a lot's been done
Scared
to
us
bring me
for
here.
a good bit there.
Never mean to make people worry.
And I'm going to take however long it takes to prestidigitate Emrys of all of the blood and all of the hell that I put them through.
Sorry.
That's not.
Clean, clean, clean,
I'm
clean.
just gonna clean this off. Sorry.
How do
I
you
look like
feel?
hell.
How do you feel?
Like, well, something is missing, but not entirely sure what just yet.
Good to have you back.
Happy to be back.
Moon
For
and
once, this is a
sorry,
family I can't give up.
elbows gently. Just physical contact, but trying not to be weird about it.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna completely lean on you a little bit, actually. So if you're so close, I'm gonna lean. Normally, I'm not one for a lot of touching and all that fun stuff, but knowing that someone is right physically there, that's what it is. It's almost like grounding, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna lean right on Gej the entire time. He takes a step away. I'm following. Sorry. This
Is I
is
moving?
I'm not cool.
Moonin, are you alright?
I'm alive. I look like shit, but I'm alive.
Singed a bit of your beard there.
Holm looks at the lot of you and says, "No, it looks as though we've made it through another tight spot. We should all get some rest soon." And he reaches into his bag and pulls out what looks to be like a tiny door. It's about that big.
Sure.
As he sets it down, it seems to grow in size. He said we should all be safe in there. As he opens the door, inside of it, you can see another room, another building. It's glorious. There is a dining hall decked out with all manner of food. Come on. As he leads you all in. Who is going to be the last one through the door?
I'll take
Probably
up the
Liz,
rear.
because she's outside.
Okay.
Okay.
As all of you head inside, Liz, the door opens and Annie says, "Come, love. We're going to pop inside. Have a bit of a rest. Come along." Her face turns and looks off in the distance, and you as well hear it. It's a heavy. First, you think it's a drum beat. You realize it is the heavy footfalls of something large. Wherever he went with that big demonic creature, they're returning. You can see it on the horizon. She grabs your arm, and Annie quickly guides you inside the mansion. And as the door shuts, allowing you guys to get a modicum of rest, we're going to call this episode of the Troubleshooters.
Whew.
Everybody will get the benefit of a long rest. Everybody, and I need to talk to you specifically, Liz. Everybody will gain a level, though. You are not going to be... I've already talked to you, Emrys, about your levels. When we're done, I will talk to you more about what has happened to Gej. And Liz, I will talk to you more as soon as we're done for this evening. In the meantime, I'm
Go
glad...
find a bath.
I'm glad that everybody was able to join in this evening for tonight's episode of the Troubleshooters. It has been my pleasure. I have been your DM, Heath. We have to thank Otter, who is playing Moonin. We want to thank Q, playing Emrys, Voodoo, who is playing Gej, and never least Vixen, who is playing Liz. We want to thank I was glad to have all of you here tonight. It was wonderful to see all your smiling, beautiful faces.
Thank
We're
Cat
gonna
for
have you
the
next week.
emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Thank you, Cat.
Will we be able to see you next week, Voodoo? Or are you working?
I may be able to work. Sorry, Deco. I may be able to work out something with Kayla,
Okay.
the other night shifter, and see if she'd be willing to like swap with me. But if we can't, then I won't be here.
All right. Well, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It was a blast. Tune in tomorrow night for... I forgot what the name of it is. It's Star Wars, though, so go check it out. Deco, what is the name of this show? Remnant's Shadow. That's it. Remnant Shadow. I can never remember the name. It'll be like this time next year, or no, it'll be just before the end of the show, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the name of it. So join us tomorrow night for Remnant Shadow as they play Star Wars. It is a lot of fun. Jason is a fantastic storyteller. Wednesday night, JT is back with his False Colin Knights. And then Thursday we have... oh my gosh.
Knight's Ransom.
Thank you. Knight's Ransom. Like, Knight was in it. I knew that much. Sorry, I got a lot going on. Thursday we have a Knight's Ransom. Saturday we have Stolen Cities. Sunday we would normally have Varenheim, but they're on break. On next until like a month from now. They're on season break.
Mhm.
They will start off. If you did not catch the last season or the last episode for that season, it was a doozy. It was a big old long slog, and it is amazing to watch as they got through that. Until next Monday, take care of yourselves. Thank you all for who donated. Stay tuned for the raid. I think we're going to go jump in on Victor 7 because he was in here on us. So we're going to go raid Victor 7. Stick around. Say hi to those guys. Until next week or till tomorrow, take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Good night.